Hello everyone, I'm Feifei Liao. My pronouns are she and her. This is the podcast series Voices of Us. I'm the host, talking with our amazing speakers about LGBTQIA plus international student stories and share some learnings with you. In this episode, let's dive into Elvis's queer awakening moment and learn about his experience. Welcome, Elvis.
Thank you so much, Feifei. I am excited to be here, and this is a really exciting podcast. And I'm really happy that you started this. I know you have done a lot to bring the voices of international students and especially LGBTI community. So I'm really excited to be speaking with you today.
Yeah, thank you. And yeah, let our audiences to get to know you a little bit more.
Sure. So I'm as I'm sure you have seen that I'm really passionate about international student advocacy and supporting international student. It is because I have been an international student in Australia myself. I came to Australia as an international student 10 years ago, nearly 10 years ago. It was an exciting and a great experience, and to a time where it was a challenging experience as well. So yeah, I came as an international student studying, and the life of an international student can be really challenging in terms of working without family and studying, and then going through a process of coming out was another level of, it was just hectic and it was difficult. It definitely turned things upside down for me, if I can say that. It was really challenging, and and recently someone asked me, Elvis, do you regret any decisions or choices you made because it had serious consequences in your life? And I said, I would not change a thing, because I'm really happy and proud of who I am, and I'm really happy of what I'm doing. Because usually people are like, if you would not have come out, maybe your life would have been much better today. I don't think so. I might have financial support and a community social and a background support from people, but not happy. But now I'm happy.
Glad to know.
That's really important, and I think and many people say this, and when I used to hear this like radios or interviews, people are like, it felt like a heavy weight lifted off my shoulder. I genuinely felt that. So I can, and those days when I used to listen to that, I was like, I'm not sure, there would be a lot of challenges, and things like that. But when I went through that process myself, I can personally say I felt so good.
You felt so good.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we also would like to know how the journey started.
It was an interesting experience. Like, I'm not sure if many people can do that, but I don't have like a one defining moment. Okay, this is where I know, this is where it started. It was like a bit of like different experiences and things like that. And I still remember I was actually sitting in a class, and I was doing pre-medicine. And so I was in this class, and during lunch break we used have a lunch room sort of a thing where we used to go and eat food. That day, after the lunch break sort of a thing, I don't remember exactly, but it was something, our classmates left the lunchroom or something happened, but I just found myself in the room. Like, I was just in the room with my best friend, and they just kissed me on my cheek, and I was
So they just walked towards you?
no, was sitting next to me, and I was like, this is interesting. This, like, I don't know it freaked me out at first. It did freak me out. I was like, but at the same time, I think I I think I like.
You like it? But what's the difference between, your parents kissing you or whether your parents kissed you before?
No, actually, I'm coming from a culture like where we maintain a quite a bit distance. There's not too much of a physical touch, but it was an experience. I was like, this is different. I was feeling like, one, I was freaking out if someone saw us. Two, I was like, this was good. And I was just feeling different. I was just like, people said this butterflies in the stomach or whatever. You know what? I was like,
Yeah.
I think I... But then I was like, no, I need to leave the room. I reacted in a way that, I need to go. And because I just don't wanted to acknowledge that. You know what I mean? And then next day, again, they hold my hand. And I was like, this is just getting serious, you know what I mean? This is just getting, I think I like it, but at the same time, I can't acknowledge it, even if I want to. So I think that was a point where I was slightly coming to the terms, but there was a long time after that, Fifi, that I choose not to come to terms. Not to come to terms because...
Did you shake off the hands? Did you run away or did you just silently accept it?
I think there were points where I silently accepted, if you can say. When no one is watching, obviously. But then I had this big fear of what if someone finds out and how it's going to impact my life and things like that. So I did not acknowledge, and then I decided to study overseas and things like that, and then cut every tie with that person. Literally got nothing to do because I was freaking out, because that they were really trying to make moves very quickly, and at least one person need to assess the risk in when you find yourself in countries that can be very difficult in these situations. So for me it was like, no, I can't, I need to stay away from this person.
But
And
were you friends before?
we are very, very good friends, like really good friends. So it was a very difficult process for me, but it was like a very straightforward, because I grew up in a very conservative space and in a family, and if things are not right, you just cut it off, and you put the religion and the community first more than yourself, and that's what happens. So because of that, I was like, unfortunately, if I would be putting both of our lives at risk. One point, I feel like, yes, what I did was right. To other point, I genuinely miss that person a lot, and we had so much in common, but I know that we can never be together. And now I live in a free world where I have my freedom, where I have human rights. But unfortunately, that person does not have those rights and cannot speak about who they are. That's why I tell people, especially people from multicultural communities, it's be safe and try to assess all the potential risk or that might, or the consequences that might come along when you come out. So by that, I don't want to send a message of don't come out. I'm encouraging you to come out, because you will feel much better. You will feel proud of yourself. You can focus more on your life and on your career. If you can't, that will be just contributing to your mental health. Now there are a lot of services and support in Australia, and we have so many organizations that can provide support, and there are so many organizations anonymously can just listen to you.
So how did you start to explore the resources here? So
I was not given any resources, and back in
Mm.
those days, it was
Mm.
just impossible to have this sort of have resources, especially if you're an international student.
Were
And
you looking for anything?
no,
And
I was
then
not looking for anything, and I think most of the time what happens is people who are not out try to stay away from these organizations or supports and things like that, because they don't want to be seen associated with these organizations or accessing support and services from these organizations.
So you
but-
kind of feel
yeah,
things might exist there, but you were trying to avoid.
no, to be honest, I was not aware things might exist, but
Oh,
now
you didn't.
no, I
You
was
wasn't
not,
aware.
no,
of
I was not
things.
aware, and I don't think there was anything back then.
So
the-
what has changed?
A lot. The advocacy space have changed, and in 10 years we have seen like there is a big massive shift.
When was the the kind of a turning point you started to realize there were things and there's
So when I started advocating, that's where I started exploring there are some services, there are some supports, but it was not enough. And then you be part of these advocacy groups and organizations where they try, see, a lot of organizations are trying to build more resources and support for LGBTI communities, and I think in 10 years they have come so far, and it's a kudos to them that they have come this far, and their advocacy and their commitment to LGBTI community.
I mean, what's the most difficult part for you to step out to get to know what people are doing to support the LGBTQA community, and what motivated you to also
just this
reach out to
the
them?
purpose, I choose a purpose in my life that I want to serve the community. I want to speak and be a voice for people who can't speak for themselves. And there are so many people who reach out to me on my Instagram, asking me how they can access family violence services, or a lot of women who reach out to me who are from multicultural background or refugee and asylum seeker, asking me how to how to connect with domestic violence services and what is the support, because they are not aware of it, because these services are not heavily promoted in multicultural community. Or I can also say that this services or their promotions are not well designed to or designed to be promoted in multicultural communities, so there are a lot of women who experience domestic violence in multicultural community don't talk about it, because they don't know that there are services that exist that can support them.
Were there anyone from the LGBTQA community and coming from multicultural backgrounds reach out to you?
No, unfortunately, no. Unfortunately, no. That's why I want us to create these networks of people, whether it is multicultural LGBTI community or not just multicultural, or we create a network, which I was thinking, we create a closet group of everyone, locals and international multiculturals and everyone, a closet group where they can reach out to people who are in closets, and they can have the chats or coffee catch-ups and build that connections, build that friendship, because a lot of LGBTI community members from multicultural backgrounds experience loneliness and because they don't have many friends, or they don't feel that they can talk to people. They are worried about getting judged, or they are living in a toxic home environment. So it's important that we create programs and things like that where these people feel comfortable, and I know that many organizations try to run programs like this, but they are not well promoted. They are not promoted at right places. Then how the heck people are going to be part of it? And that's the frustration I have.
Can you explain a little bit more, like why you think the programs are not well promoted?
I ran programs as well myself, and I have participated. So usually what organizations have is that they go with a traditional form of promotion,
Which is?
Facebook. Very old.
Yeah.
Not many people, you know what I mean, they use Facebook, and then when you see Facebook algorithms, so if you don't like any LGBTI pages or anything like that, you might not even see that promotion of that service, because the algorithm only show things that are related to you, and things that you have searched, and you know what I mean. So if you haven't searched anything, you're not going to see the advertisement. And let's just be honest, Fifi, how many people use Facebook? Not many. Not many these days. Not many young people prefer Instagram, or people go on to this, young people go on to this TikTok or Snapchat or gaming apps or dating apps, you know. And you need to promote things on platforms that young people actually engage. Oh no, we have a media policy, we promote things on Facebook or our website. How many people, if someone don't know who you are, what your organization is, how the heck are you expecting them to go onto your website? If they don't know about you, why would they go onto your website? And let's just be real. How many young people do you think will go onto a website to learn about the organization? No one. I don't know. I would never do that myself.
So where do you check out
Instagram.
activities?
Instagram, TikTok is a thing. Instagram, and people check a quick thing, and lot, because I think people of our generation, and especially a younger generation, you know what I mean, or Gen Zs, I think that's what they call Gen Zs, is that right?
Yeah.
And we don't prefer heavy text, you know. So there was this, so I work with Youth Development Australia, and National Youth Commission is part of it. And so we actually, it's a national inquiry into youth employment and transition, and we do papers on youth employment and things like that, but we don't make it text heavy. When you see other papers, we do have text for people who are interested in reading text, but when the messaging of that reports, we convert that into easy language, or images or graphics, and put it on Instagram for young people. But there will be a formal report that is for people who really want to read it. You know what I mean?
But for people, you see, their first time, you know, when they realize that they might be part of the LGBTQIA community, and they don't want to be shown in the space with a rainbow or with any LGBTQ plus label, and if they don't search for any LGBTQ plus information, so how can they explore different resources and activities?
This is
yeah, because
I'm sharing too much.
Not everyone is doing advocacy.
That's
and
right.
They won't be able.
They won't
to.
be doing, because
That's
they
right.
like, especially people who are not out, they will be struggling with it. You know what I mean? And when people are actually exploring this, you know, who they are, and just learning, they do tend to go on dating apps. They don't want to be associated with an organization that have a rainbow flag or whatever, but they don't mind being part of a dating app that is full of rainbows there. And so that's a very good place for advertisement. That's a very good place for promoting important organization or important messaging or safety messages and things like that. I was on dating apps, and I did, like, I think as every young person, once they explore who they are, they try to jump onto these dating apps, and especially for people who are not out, as I just said, that yes, that is actually one of the best platform to promote programs that is how to be safe and come out, and organization and what other supports that can exist. But at the same time, I just want people to be very, very careful with dating apps. And my dating app experience was, in the start, you jump into this excitement. It's like, wow, so many people, and then you're connecting. Oh, I like this person. I'm having a good chat, and then
were you exploring others, or were you exploring yourself, or are you exploring both?
Both, I would say, and especially exploring myself. You know what I mean? What I want, but at the same time, dating apps can be really risky to like sometimes, and my experience have not been that great with some dating apps. I just don't want to use their names, mention their names, but it can be really, if you're not out and you have been in closet forever, and this is the first time you're coming out, then there are some dating apps that you should definitely avoid. It's like some of them are like, it's send this pic, send that pic, hi, send this pic, send that pic, that's it. And it's just like, there's no conversation, there's not like, so that might not be a right platform for you, someone to start. And sometimes it can be really risky, because some of those platforms are really dodgy, and especially one of them is really big and a massive and a very popular one. So people, as soon as someone understand and accept that they are part of the community, they quickly jump onto that platform, you know what I mean, and to meet people. And I have been there myself.
How did you find those apps? Anyone told you, or you Googled?
I remember Googling. I remember Googling.
What's the keyword?
Just gay dating apps, I guess.
And then it will pop up. Do they have like a rating, that kind of
They
stuff?
have ratings, but I was someone who never bothered about rating. I pretty much like click download on
everything.
I downloaded everything, and I was like, okay, put my picture and put my age and things.
Real age and real pictures.
That's right.
Like it's showing your face.
That's right.
Like the front face, not the profile face.
No, front face, my name and everything. But that can be risky for people, and that have been very crazy for me. So I just want to tell that, like, be mindful. If this is your first experience, and if you're just exploring, go slow.
Go slow. How slow is slow?
Don't be too excited like I was.
Were you excited chatting with other people, or were you excited to meet other people?
See, when I started, I was so excited to really connect with people and really build that friendships and build that connection, genuine connection. But then I found out, especially with one of the platforms, is like, send me this pic, send me that pic. What time? Where can we meet? I have a place. Can you host? Like, I don't know. You know what I mean? I don't know if I'm into it. And that's like, so I think that's a struggle that I had, and the struggle that I still have is building genuine friendships is can be really difficult in the apps like that and things like that, and you'll find it because people are there, and sitting behind the keyboard, anyone can say anything, you know what I mean? Especially the Star Observer's article that we saw, which was very sad, and it's easy for people to discriminate or bully or threat or blackmail. I understand that after a lot of reviews that app have gone through a lot of changes to protect people's safety and protect people and people's privacy, but still it's not there yet, and it's not going to, like, it doesn't matter how much improvement they make, that's people's behavior and they can't control that, you know what I mean? And so it's really important that you keep yourself safe.
If we say, any tips for people to first they feel, oh my God, I might like, I might like someone the same gender, or they started to realize I might be part of the LGBTQA community. What kind of tips you can give to them to explore themselves and also to come to finally accept themselves?
I would say first be safe. And this is a very commonly used word. Look for red flags. And it's like just making sure that first, your life is not in threat. I'm not like, people will be coming from different countries. They need to assess that if it's acceptable in their country. If not, then they should actually assess and access support and services before they go public about it. Don't make naive decisions, as I made in my life, and I experienced challenges. But
how can they
to come
explore
out? Well,
dating
yeah,
apps?
dating apps, but at the same time, reading books. There are a
Reading
lot
books?
of, yes.
Do you have any recommendations for books?
So many. There was like, first time when I tried to accept myself, one of my friend back then bought this book called Two Boys Kissing.
Oh.
Yeah, it was
Interesting
yeah,
name.
and there are a lot of books on coming out, and then YouTube videos and audiobooks and things like that. I listen to a lot of audiobooks, and so there are a lot of audiobooks. You will enjoy listening to their stories, and you will try to, I feel like you see yourself in them and things like that.
What were you looking in the books? Were you looking to find similar experiences, or were you looking for solutions?
I was looking for happy ending. I was looking for how they actually came together finally. You know what I mean? Like after challenges and hardships. And I wanted to see that for myself one day, that, oh, can I have this as well? Can I get back into the person that I loved? And so I wanted to see that, the happy ending of the story. You know what I mean? Yeah.
What's a happy ending for you?
In terms of that particular relationship, as you know, as I told you, there's nothing. But I'm happy now. I'm happy now what I do, and how far I came in life, and how I'm trying to advocate for people who go through similar experiences mine. So I find my happiness in different things, and then love, if I can say that. And I stopped hoping for anything that can change in that space as well. So in terms of that, especially that particular relationship I talked about. But I enjoy what I do, so I find love in different things. But that doesn't mean that everyone have to look for love in different things. You can still find love. It's just how you actually, how you, I mean, like, if you find yourself in a position like I was, and first, again and again, I want to repeat this, is like, look for your safety and how you can, but now there's a lot of services and things like that. So the way my story have ended, or my love story have ended, it might not be the same case for you, because now there is a lot of support, and you might be able to see the happy ending of the love story.
And you're still young, and there's a long journey to go, and
right.
I think you will find your happy ending in
that's right
your space as well.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Elvis, for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me. I really enjoyed it.
Thank you for listening to Voices of Us podcast series produced by Co-Inventors. If you feel it's worth sharing, we'd love to share it with your family, friends, and the world. You can find all the episodes on Co-Inventors Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and City of Melbourne Library's SoundCloud. Give us a follow and like. We also really appreciate the great support from Yakvik Hate Grant, City of Melbourne Libraries, AGMC, and RMIT Translation and Interpretation Discipline.